Hi, I'm Christina and this is a book review of Mrs. England by Stacey Halls. So this is a historical fiction novel. It was published in 2021 and it's her third book and it's my first book by this author. The novel is set in 1904 and our main character is called Ruby. She is a nanny who has been trained at the very prestigious school called the Norland Institute, and she's just recently accepted a new position with the England family. We have Charles and Lillian England and we have their 4 children. Now there's definitely something strange going on in this household and there's definitely something going on with this family. So Ruby has lived in London previously for her first position and she is from Birmingham originally, but the majority of the novel is set in Yorkshire, which is where the England family live, in a house called Hardcastle House. So the first thing I will say is this is definitely a slow burn kind of book. I had read around 200 pages, so pretty much at the halfway point, and honestly not very much had happened at all. And I was wondering when something was going to happen, are we actually going to get into the major plot points of this story? But it does kind of stay in that pace for quite a long time. And I would say that it's probably only in the last quarter or so of the book that any kind of plot really does kick in. So for the first 2/3 or so of the story, we're definitely just spending time with the characters and spending time with the setting and the scene and Yorkshire as a whole. And I do think she really does describe Yorkshire and her settings and scenery really, really well. It's really well written in that sense, but I do think I was just hoping for a little bit more kind of action or plot a little bit sooner. So that's probably the thing that I disliked most about this story, but I did still have a really good time with it, and it's definitely going to be a 4-star read for me. I think most of the way through this story I was just expecting it to be a 3-star read, but I really did like the way in which this concluded. I thought it was well done and it definitely gripped me towards the end. I just really had to know what was happening. So obviously the title character of this story is Mrs. England, but the entire story is told through Ruby's perspective. So we never actually see firsthand from Mrs. England, Lillian's perspective, or any other characters at all. And I do think that was an interesting way to do it, because there was a lot of times when we weren't quite sure what to think of certain characters, and I thought that was well done. I had lots of different theories and suspicions at different times about what was actually going on. All you know is there's definitely something strange going on in this family, and I obviously won't give any spoilers at all, but there were plenty of times where I was going back and forth between who I thought the bad character was and who I thought the innocent party was. And yeah, I definitely kept flip-flopping between them, just the way in which he wrote the 2 characters. It was interesting to see that for sure. And I thought that was well done, actually. The other thing that I really, really like about this story is that it is based on a real character, and I didn't know that at all until the end of the story, and I just really think that adds a lot of weight to the story, actually. So the main character of Ruby is based on an actual woman who lived in the same time, and a very specific event which happens to Ruby in this story happened to the real woman called Ruby. And I thought that was really great. I kind of read the whole of the book and then I saw that and I thought, oh, I really like that actually. I really like that she's read a true story about something that happened to someone and it's just inspired this fictional tale that she has created. So I really like that aspect of it. I thought that was really good. And yeah, I think that was part of the reason that I gave this one a 4-star. So whilst I was reading this story, I was drawing quite a large comparison to another classic novel, which was Jane Eyre. It definitely has just Jane Eyre vibes to me. It has a similar kind of atmosphere, and I think it plays with similar kind of themes. So yes, as I was reading this, it was definitely in the back of my mind that that's what this book really reminded me of. So when I was reading through it, and when I read books in general, I probably do draw some comparisons and what do I think this is like, or is this completely unique and something that I've never read before? And yeah, I think it's drawn quite heavily from Jane Eyre for me personally, and I've not seen anyone else talk about it. I didn't want to ruin my own opinions before I made my own review, but I'd really be interested to see if anyone else thinks similarly with that. So I know that she's written 2 other novels, and I'll definitely be interested in reading both of those. Her debut novel was called The Familiars, and her second novel was called The Foundling, and I'm definitely interested to see whatever she writes next. I'm sure I will pick up her 4th novel. So overall, yes, I enjoyed my time with this one. It's a 4-star read. The thing I liked least was definitely the pacing. It just felt a little bit off. And the thing that I liked most about the story was definitely the kind of the settings and the scenery and the way in which he described Yorkshire. I lived in Leeds for 4 years, and it does feel very reminiscent of the place when you're out in the actual countryside of Yorkshire. And I thought she illustrated that really, really well. So yeah, if you have read this book, I would love to know what you thought of it. If you've read either of her other 2 novels, I'd love to know what you thought of those. Do you have a favourite? Which one do you think I should read next? I'd love to know your thoughts. So please like the video if you've liked it, and please do subscribe if you'd like to see more of me talking about books. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.